he might have been one of the biggest in America. He was on the radio. He had albums, and what have you. I mean, from back in the 50s, The point is that the discussion of black power in there was the same discussion that we have. We learned the lesson. I had never heard that lecture before. I just never heard the lecture, and I never read it in a book, but I picked up on, from being black orientated, that this is a danger to the black community way back then. That's why our organization was the biggest and most effective in Oakland. And I said to one of my brothers that died a little while back, I say, we never even beat nobody up. Now all these they be shooting each other down and everything. East Oakland Enterprises, we never even beat nobody up. He said, yeah, well, we was ready. Now half of them come from the Black Panther Party, half of them, and I told them, you want to do something for black people, you do this. And actually, technically, we did more. We did more physically. And when we left the country, we did stuff directly for the Black Panther Party. And we did a few things that are unmentionable there in Oakland. So this concept, I was really happy to hear that. It was about the country Negro against the city Negro, you know what I mean? All the different intellectual Negroes against the slow Negroes. That's not exactly, but that's what it meant. In other words, it was like his talk was very close to, what was that flyer years ago about this plan in Virginia to divide up Negroes? The guy, the white guy, Lynch. That's right. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't make no difference. It seems like it is. But he told them, he said, you're going to hang all your property up and, waste all that, they won't be able to work. So here's what you do. You get them focused on each other. You get the wide-nosed ones, hating the ones with pointed nose, our children. That's not what he said, but that's what he meant. The light ones against the dark ones, right? The house Negroes against the field Negroes. Them niggas in the house, they don't do no work. We do all the work, right? It's the same thing that Dr. Franklin said, and it's the same thing that we recognized years ago, that if you want to be big, that's how we got so big in the gangster world, because we incorporated everybody. You want to do, like now, people be fighting over, this is my block, this is my, we say, shoot, you get all the money you want to on that block. That block don't belong to me, right? Now here's what we do. I said, let's do like the white folks do. They have a big supplier, and you compete with each other on price and quality, right? So if you want a better quality, you might, at a reasonable price, you might choose Giant over Safeway, or, something like that, right? So they both in the same business line and puffing up the food, you know what I mean, and messing it up, you know what I mean, sprinkling lemon juice on the meat to turn it back red, all kind of little stuff. They do the same thing, but they don't blast each other, right? Right? They compete with each other, and way off in the future, the concentration of wealth, the concentration of resources, one of them is going to buy the other out, right? And as they get on down the line, the concentration of wealth, the last two big giants, whoever they are, one going to buy the other one out. Or they'll leave it like it is to have different, to give people phony choice. Now, you got a choice. You can go over here. They both mine, but you can go over there, and get what they got, right? And they'll think, oh, it's different and everything. So in the black community, we had a unique experience, especially at that time, and I really enjoyed listening to that lecture. But the whole idea was the same thing. Whether it's black people or Muslims, do not let people divide you up. Even the Negroes that do something to us and they Muslim, well, it's okay. And they do it right in front of you, for you don't have to go look for them to figure out who did it or who's doing it. They do it in front of your face. You know what I mean? Say, yeah. And they got boss man behind them, and they want you to be mad at them. We're not going to do that. And we'll get into that talk right now. And in starting, we just want to make dua to ask Allah's help and guidance, and to thank Allah. First is thanking Allah for longevity, the ability to expect certain things, and the ability to act on certain things. This is all a blessing from Allah. As Martin Luther King said in his last speech, longevity has its place. And so we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this longevity. And we thank Allah for the ability to hold on to such a period of time to where we can change all of the defeats into victories. And we thank Allah for being an example to humanity, to the Muslims, first of all, then, of course, to our tribal affiliation, which is colored, and to all the other struggling peoples of the world. That there are ways to defeat systems. And we'll talk about that a little later, whether it be blockade running and all of that. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sabr. The Quran refers to it as a sabru jamilan, a beautiful patience. And the hadith that says, as-sabru wa nifsul iman, patience is half of faith. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the ability to hold on with the attitude of protractedness. If you remember, those are the 2 points we always talked about: protracted struggle, which the idea protracted struggle comes from Chairman Mao and what have you in his selected works. But our protracted struggle have technically outlasted theirs. Their protracted struggle, if they started the Communist Party in 1921, that's what they were celebrating. So 21, 31, 41, 51, 1950, that was 30 years. We have been practicing a protracted struggle for 50 years or more. The first part in Jahiliyyah, and the last 40, 42 years strictly Islamic. And that protractedness gives you the ability to go through the process of repetition. Repetition means it's like reading the Quran. You read it one time and you're getting all that stuff from it. You read it again, you're getting all that repetition, and you're getting something out of it every time. When you live life experiences, you're never at the end of the line where you say, I got all of this, I got this down pat. No, because every experience that we have up to this morning, every one of them adds on to the whole process of living that we've been involved in. And we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. We thank Allah that we're here. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for discombobulating the white man. And we couldn't do that, but Allah can. The man is confused. The man is bumping into everything that you can see, right? We asked Allah for that. Now, we also asked Allah that we could be the one talker, the trash talker. That's what we asked Allah. Oh, Allah, let us do this now. And Allah evidently gave us the permission. Yeah, gave us the permission to sell wolf tickets. The boss man and every last one of them come out. And I mean, even if we ask Allah, oh Allah, let us make a fool out of the white man. Right? And probably everybody remember that. Oh Allah, make the world laugh at this peck of wood. Just have them rolling in the aisles. What are they doing now? They looking at boss man and say, what's wrong with America? Right? What's happening? You know, what happened? What's going? It don't make sense. You know, nothing makes sense, and it's all. Everybody is. Wait a minute. We just brought you in, old slow year, to do such and such a thing, and now you're doing worse than the dummy, right? You're doing worse than the old red-headed man, whatever his name was. And nobody could do worse than him, but you, right? You can imagine. This guy, I mean, the news, and we thank Allah for this. See, you got to remember, the timing, the association, you and I couldn't put this thing together. Neither could a group of people organize it. A group of people could not organize, and okay, the Chinese and the Russians and a few Negroes here, they're going to get together. We're going to hook up this program and run boss man crazy. You could mess up some little thing, one or two things, but he can counter that. He cannot, something is wrong. He cannot counter nothing. And if it's anything stupid to do, he'll do it right now. If he went around 2 weeks ago, well, actually, 3 or 4 months, to NATO and say, we back, we with you, we da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, we down with you, and they said, hip, hip, hooray, right? And we thank Allah for turning him into the biggest, stupidest liar in world history. To where he'll go over, he got a deal, the French got a deal, right? The same French that got him out of hot water when he was over here at Yorktown, right? Blocked off the whole thing and burned the British, and they helped him. Tocqueville, whatever his name was coming over here writing about the great American spirit from France, right? From France. And France having a little economic thing, you know, where they that mad at it, it wouldn't be that we're going to sell Australia, whoever does a few subs, right? And here he come. You can't do that deal. We got to go against China, and then we going up and we going to have them built. They're going to be built by 2045 or something, right? They want, what do you need? What they'll have zoop, 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 zoop stuff going on by then. They won't have you, right? They're not going to build them next week. next month. And the French already had the whole, they done invested in the shipyard. Yeah, man, we fixed to have at least $4 or $5. We ain't gonna get rich. Right? And boss man come in, and now everybody mad at him. You and I can't hook that up. He has to be so delirious and so short-sighted that he does it to himself. That's what we ask. Oh Allah, run boss man crazy. And he run himself crazy. We didn't do that. We're just taking credit for it. That's what we asked for, right? That's why these dua are important. There's no barrier between the dua of the oppressed and Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Guess who we are? We're oppressed. We're oppressed not by